Today I'm going to bring you my very first full review, and I'm going to do a review on where's the book? I put it down here somewhere. So I'm going to do a review on Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. But before I dive into the goodness of this book, I want to share something with you guys. So when I was at the store earlier today, this was a complete impulse buy. I found these pumpkin spice cookies, sandwich cookies, and I had to buy them, and I thought I would try it on my channel on this video. So I'm opening them now. I'm gonna try one, and I'll tell you guys how I like them. Let's see. I'm very excited. They're kind of hard. Oh, kind of wanted them to be soft. It's kind of like a ginger snap, like, texture. It's pretty good. Has like a cream cheesy frosting. It's decent. Yeah, it would be better if they were soft. I still recommend them. I think on the back it has a picture of milk. I think these would be really good dunked in milk. So I may have to try that later at some point, dunking them in milk. So, yeah. Those are the pumpkin spice cookies that I got. I don't think, unless you live in Texas, I don't think you can get these. So I thought once I reach 50 subscribers, I would do a giveaway of these cookies. Not the ones that I opened, but your own box. So if you're interested in that, tell me down below, and maybe I'll do that. Okay. Now that we've had some delicious cookies, I have to have another bite. Now on to... Don't you just love when your camera dies and you don't even know it, and you get through the entire video and it only got like the first 5 minutes? Yeah, that just happened. It only got me eating the cookies. And I've since had 3 more, and they do get better. They're delicious. Moving on. So the review is on Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and I ended up really enjoying this book. If you watched my September wrap-up video, I talked about how it had yet to blow my mind, and I was only on the first 50 pages, so I felt like it hopefully would pick up. And even though it did take about 300 pages to finally really get going, the last 100 pages were fantastic. I stayed up really late last night because I couldn't put it down. I had to finish it. 1, because it was a really great story, and 2, I wanted to finish this book so I could start on my October TBR because it is massive. So in the beginning, my first initial thoughts were there wasn't a whole lot going on. It was character development, which was fantastic. She did a great job developing the characters, great job of setting the scene and giving some backstory, stuff that was necessary, but it just took a long time for it to finally pick up. And so even though I enjoyed the first part of the story, it just kind of didn't really wow me. I relate it to the way I feel about The Fellowship of the Ring, how I honestly feel like The Fellowship is just a long walk. All they're doing is walking. Not a whole lot of stuff happens. Yes, there is some action. Yes, there are a couple of battles. Yes, they go to Rivendell and the Fellowship starts and all that stuff. I get it. Like, it's necessary things to happen for the rest of the story, but I don't feel like the story starts until Frodo and Sam leave the Fellowship and go off on their own. So that's kind of how I feel about this story, is that it's necessary to understand Celaena and to understand Dorian and Chaol and to know the background of the country and all of that. Like, it's very necessary, but it's just not all that exciting, you know? It's just, Yeah, so that's what I thought. I gave it, I think, a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. Out of a scale of 10, I would say it would be about a 7.5, 8, maybe. Only because the first 3/4 of the book, it was good, but it wasn't, mind-blowing. The last part of it was just fantastic. So that ends the spoiler-free zone of this video. If you have not read it, you should go, 1, so you don't get spoiled of the story, and 2, you should go get it because it's great. It really is a good story, and I've heard that the second and third books just keep getting better and better. So if you haven't read it, go pick it up, and yeah, so now it's time for you to go. Go watch another one of my videos, because that would be fun. I don't know. Spoiler type things, really getting in depth of the story. What do I want to talk about, guys? I'm not really sure. I don't remember what I said in my video that didn't happen. Well, the things that I really loved were the way that she developed all the characters. I love Celaena and Chaol and Dorian, and that they grew as characters. They, you know, Celaena she got all of her edges kind of, not completely sanded down, but she's not as prickly as she was in the beginning. And Chaol, like, he just grows as a person. I really like him. I like him as a character. I feel like he doesn't easily trust people, but he wants to do the right thing. He's loyal, and I just really like him as a character. And I feel like Dorian, he's growing. Like, he's still kind of a pushover with his father, but that's also because he's 19, and so he fears him. And so, you know, I liked that he starts to stand up to him, even though you find out that his father just kind of he makes Dorian believe that he was standing up to him in the end when he fights for Celaena to be his champion, and really the king still has ulterior motives. So the character development was great. The description of the scenes and all that, like, I really felt like I could picture the castle and all of that, and it was just fantastic. The next thing I wanted to talk about was how she made Celaena doubt Nehemia's loyalties. Like, she thought she was the traitor. She thought she was the one that was killing all the champions. I just thought that was unnecessary. It was very obvious she was doing that to lead us in the wrong direction, so it would come as a shock that it ended up being Cain was the one that was killing all the champions. So one more thing that I wanted to talk about was the love interest between Celaena and Dorian. I was fully with Chaol when he said, dude. He didn't really say dude, but he's like, back off. It's ridiculous. You're the crown prince. She's an assassin. No, not okay. I was definitely with him. I thought it just screamed, this is never gonna work. What do you think you're doing? And then the scene when they finally kiss for the first time, I was like, okay. It's not really that big of a deal. I don't really care. There wasn't that tension that had been building up and you had been wanting them to kiss. I knew it was coming, and I didn't know when, but I knew eventually they would end up kissing. And so I was like, it's not really, whatever. But scene in the last duel where Chaol is on the ground calling to Celaena to get up, and he edges his fingers as close to hers as he can so he doesn't cross the line, and she edges her fingers as close to his as she can. That was one of my favorite scenes in the entire book. I just am like, that is what love is. That is the tension building that I'd been waiting for in the love interest. And then when he comes to her after she had started healing, and she embraces him and she just clings to him. That I don't remember what she said. I think she had said, I want to find it. Chaol, she said, grabbing his hand and whirling him to face her. She only saw the haunted gleam in his eyes before she threw her arms around his neck and held him tightly. He straightened, but she crushed her body into his, even though it still aggravated her wounds to do so. Then, after a moment, his arms wrapped around her, keeping her close to him. So close that as she shut her eyes and breathed him in, she couldn't tell where he ended and she began. His breath was warm on her neck as he bent his head, resting his cheek against her hair. Her heart beat so quickly, and yet she felt utterly calm, as if she could have stayed there forever and not minded. Stayed there forever and let the world fall apart around them. She pictured his fingers pushing against that line of chalk, reaching for her despite the barrier between them. Amazing. Like, I So good. And so I just love the scenes between them, and I love that they slowly built this friendship, this relationship, and I love the two of them together. I think every scene with them together is just fantastic, whether they're fighting or whether they have a really precious, soft moment. It was so good. Yeah, so overall, I thought it was a good book. I am excited about finishing the series and glad to hear that they just keep getting better. I think that's it. So tell me what you guys think, what you guys have thought about Throne of Glass in the comments down below. If you are gonna use any kind of spoiler, put it in your comments, say spoiler, because I don't want anyone that hasn't read the book to get spoiled. And other than that, happy reading, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye! I finished it!